respected Director Sir, guests sir, teachers and students. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to this informative session on IPR, where we gather. The name of the event is Basics of Intellectual Property Rights and its importance for innovators and entrepreneurs.
Good morning, students. Today we are having a very eminent personality, Shri Vipul Dutt Sir. And if I talk about Vipul Dutt Sir, that fellow is every day dealing with the behavioral science. Sir is practicing in Supreme Court of India. If you want to meet any lawyer or advocate, those who belongs to Supreme Court of India, at least you should have more than 10,000 rupees at least in your pocket to take 5 minutes of that particular fellow. हिंदी में बता देता हूँ, अगर आप किसी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वकील से 5 मिनट भी मिलना चाहते हैं, तो आपके जेब में 10,000 से ज़्यादा रुपया होना चाहिए. So here you are giving nothing, but the people who belongs to Supreme Court of India is here. And why he is here? Because we want that our students should know the best knowledge that they can receive. That's why we request Shri Vipul Dutt Sir to spare some valuable time and come to our institute and address the students. My dear students, I want to tell you one thing only. If I talk about the GDP of any nation, it depends on 3 things: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. And just find out the sense of my words. Today if I want to buy 1 kg of, if I go to buy 1 kg of potato, it cost me 25 rupees. It cost me 25 rupees for 1 kg of potato. And when you go to buy potato chips of Lay's or Uncle Chips, the 100 gram of that particular potato chips comes to the 25 rupees. Clear? So just figure it out. If you want to buy 1 kg of potato chips, how much money you have to pay? 2,500. So how to form a product from 25 rupees of bird to 2,500? That comes under the purview of ideology or innovative thinking, design thinking, product development. लेस चिप्स बनाता है वो चिप्स आप भी तो बना सकते हो. आप भी जो ना 2,500 रुपए का कोई खरीदेगा आपसे. You might have heard a jingle, बोले मेरे lips, I love Uncle Chips. Might you have heard somewhere in around 90s or 80s, the kids, those who belongs to 80, Uncle Chips was a very big brand name. Everybody knows Uncle Chips, Uncle Chips, Uncle Chips. And that jingle was too famous. How that Uncle Chips is lose their market share and now you will get everywhere Lays, Lays, Lays. So when we talk about this kind of circumstances, a very strong legal consequences, legal points you guys should know. Because maybe possible after 3 or 4 years you might be having a successful venture of yours, or you might be serving in a very successful company, so that whenever such kind of situation comes to your way, you can be able to justify your position. So today we are having Dr. Shri Vipul Dutt with us. Please listen him very carefully. He has the very strong sense of intellectual property right and he is practicing himself. So know each and everything. Ask as many as questions as possible. So I request Shri Vipul Dutt Sir to come to the dais and address the gathering. And I hope that my student will keep on listening thoroughly and patiently to my esteemed guest. Thank you.
I'm very grateful for the university to provide me a platform to deliver a lecture and address you students. So first of all, as discussed that any product, when you're dealing with a product or a service or something like that, you create a brand. So IPR comes into picture when you want to protect the brand. As sir was saying that, for example, you produce some chips and nobody will buy it from you. Why? Because there is a product identification that you need to do with a certain product. Advertising, all these advertisings, etc., of different products, etc., you get every day. Why do they do that? They do that so that the consumers or the normal people will identify that product first of all. They get to know that product, what that product looks like, what are the different identifications associated with it. For example, the packet of chips that you're buying. Let's suppose you see Lay's written in a specific format, in color, fontation, etc., specific labels, etc. So to protect a brand or rights associated with it is very important for you people. Tomorrow you will be working in management, positions and all of you. So what you need to do is protect your IPR rights. What are these rights? I'll give you a very small example. Let's suppose you've got a property, a land, and somebody just, you have some rights associated with the land that you're enjoying because it's your land, you're living on it, you're building a house on it. Now can somebody, a third party can come and trespass on your land? The answer is no. Why? Because it's your land. Similarly, when you've got a product, let's suppose I have a product, let's suppose Lay's. Now it's my product and I have created it, I have created the how to write Lay's, etc. Now some third party, let's suppose in Meerut, they open up a company and start making your product with the same label, everything like that. In that case, what will happen? You will lose revenue. There is no value in your product, your company will be shut down. So intellectual property rights is nothing but every product or services, you've got some rights associated to it. And you need to protect those rights. So first you need to know what are the rights available to us in that particular requirement. So under the IPR regime in India, we've got different sort of copyrights, etc., patents, you've got trademarks, etc. What are the distinctive IPR rights available to you? We'll be discussing that. So let us see first, what is an intellectual property? This is very important for you because if you go for an interview tomorrow and if the person will ask you this question that what is intellectual property, how do you think that we should protect it? For example, you go for a software management firm or software creation or something like that. And they'll be asking you how do you think we should protect our IPR rights with respect to software? So you should be knowing all these things. So intellectual property is a property created by a persons using his or her intellect for ultimate use in commerce, which is not available in the public domain. So for example, if you've written a book, let's suppose, and you've created a novel thing, you've written a book. Now there are certain intellectual property rights associated with it as well. For example, you can copyright it. You've written a movie script, a Bollywood movie script, and somebody has already copied it and made it, then nothing will, you can't use it anymore. But if you will take a, registration of that copyright, that I have written this script, I am registering it, and tomorrow if somebody tries to copy it or make a Bollywood movie out of it, you can just go to the court, you will say, please stop them from making this movie, or if they have made that movie, whatever money they have earned out of that, give me that money plus the damages. So this is very important for you, to have copyrights. So there are certain examples of intellectual property are invention relating to a product or a process, a new design of an article. A new design of an article means, for example, a shoe. You have created a specific shoe size, or a bottle, you have created a specific design of a bottle. So you will just go there and have a patent over it so that nobody else will use that bottle. Similarly, you've got, let's suppose, a software application. You're working for a company, they have created an app, let's suppose. Now you want to protect, if somebody else will copy that app, then your entire business will go down. So what will you do? You will simply go and have a copyright over it. Or if you have created a software like Google, etc., then you will apply for a patent. So we'll be seeing what different types of IPRs are. No, just forward. No. Yeah. So why should IP right be protected? Let's see that. IP as an asset and can be exploited by the owner for commercial gains. That is very simple. For example, if you've created, let's say, a bottle, a specific bottle, then you will say that only I will be using it commercially and nobody else will use it, so you will earn a lot of money by that. Similarly, the owner can stop others from manufacturing and selling products and services which are duly protected by the IP owner. For example, you've created a vaccine And for example, COVID came and you created a vaccine. Now you want nobody else should copy that vaccine. For example, what will happen if you don't have IPR rights along with you? You have created a vaccine, you have started selling it. Now your competitor, anybody will take that vaccine, study it, analyze it, and create a copy of it and start selling it. So you will lose revenue. You have incurred so much amount of cost for creating the vaccine. You have incurred expenses. You have incurred a lot of money into that, invested a lot of money into that. But then it just crashed because somebody else has copied it and that's it. So in that particular sense, you need to protect your IPR rights. That's why it has become such a big thing. Now nations are after this. For example, there's a thing called geographical indications. We'll be reading it further. I'm just telling you the importance of it. What happens is that tulsi or etc. Haldi, for example. Haldi is a geographical indicative product that is available only in India. Now what happened is that USA, they tried to patent Haldi for themselves. So the government of India said, no, we challenged it and we got it revoked. So that's why. Why? Because they want to have that patent on Haldi, etc., so that nobody else will be able to use it. Similarly, there is Darjeeling tea, for example. Geographical indication in the sense that that particular tea is grown only in Darjeeling. So if a foreign company, what will they do? They will simply come to Darjeeling, have the product made from there. They will take that product to US, start selling it under some different name. So here, the government of India will say, or the people will say, no, Darjeeling tea is specific to this particular area. It is protected by IPR rights, so therefore you cannot use it. So now let us see different kind of IPRs. Let us see some of the known. Yeah. So boost business growth. It's good for IPR rights. If you protect your IPR rights with respect to your product or services, it will boost your business growth. Number two, easing the market process. Marketing is a very important. I told you that for a product or a service, you need to identify with the product first. Buy all of them, give ads on TV, etc., etc. So product identification is very good. If tomorrow you will go for a company, let's suppose you go for a marketing job, and you would having the same jobs. That how do you market yourself, etc. How will you market your product, etc. Where will you show the ads? Which influencers you will be hiring, etc. You will see a lot of YouTube videos these days. They're all doing marketing and advertising from there. So that's why you identify with the product. Just further. So safeguarding unique ideas. If you've created a vaccine, a unique idea, you will be able to protect it. Once, if it is not protected, if it's not registered, etc., then you will lose the right. Raising funds. Now this is also very important. Your company, suddenly you're working for a company, it has created an app. So what you can do, you can raise funds from it because it is unique to yourself, or you've created a software. You can go to the market, to the investors, and you can raise money out of that just by creating that product and by having an IPR over it. Let's suppose if you have a product with you. I'll give you a very small example. What happens? Even for fund managers. You've created a product. It has happened. And the person, they wanted to raise some money out of that. They said, we've created this software. And the angel investor said, yes, sure, we'll have a meeting. They all came, they explained the idea, they explained the entire software, etc. The company said, okay, we'll have one more meeting and then we'll see. What they did was they exactly copied the same application software and they started using it. So why did they do that? Because you did not protect your IP first. What you should have done, if you have created something, if you've written a book, let's suppose, if you've done something, then first you need to register that. Have a registration. That is very important. Yes. So these are the different types of IPR in India or all across the world. That is patent, trademark, copy. There are different kinds of intellectual property rights. And for them, we have different legislations and we have different laws. So you've got patent, you've got trademark, you've got copyright, you've got patent readers. Now patent, what is a patent? I'll just tell you briefly. Patent is a new invention that you've made, a scientific invention, which is of commercial use. So that is very important for you. For example, if you've created a machine or any process by which, for example, some manufacturing process, so you can have a patent over it. That is unique and that has a commercial value. So that is. Trademark is, for example, a logo. For example, this Pepsi, you see, for example, this LG, that LNG with that color and everything, that is trademark of LG. Nobody else can use that. Or Reebok, that the way they write Reebok, although you'd get a lot of Reebok shoes also available, but that is what passing of, we call it infringement. So trademark is any mark which by which consumers can identify your product. That this is Reebok. Why? Because it's written in that particular Spence or Jordans, your shoes or sneakers, something like that. Now comes copyright. Copyright is you've created a song, you've written a book, some literary thing that you're doing. You've written a song, you've created some music, you've written some book, etc. You can protect it under copyright. Then comes plant breeders' right. You've created a variety of plants, etc. Then design, shoe design, I told you, bottle design, etc. If you've created a design, you can protect it under the Designs Act. Geographical indication is that I told you Darjeeling tea, a product that is specific to a particular place. Now trade secrets. So in all of them, we've got separate laws. Patents, we've got Patents Act. Trademark, we've got Trademarks Act. So what you need to do is, in simple terms, if you have a product, let's suppose you have written a book or you've written some piece of music. So what you can do, you can go to the copyrights offices, which are every place. You can register your copyright in that I have written this book, please grant me rights over it. They will write your name there, they will write the name of the book, they will grant you a certificate, and that becomes your intellectual property right. So if tomorrow somebody else copies it, you will simply go to the court or you go to the police station, you will simply say, I am the owner of this IPR, they cannot use it. As simple as that. Yes. So this is Patents Act, we have discussed Designs Act, etc., different kinds of acts. Further. Now trademark, we have discussed trademark may be a word, sign, symbol or even graphic that is applied to a company, goods or services to distinguish them from those of the competitors. For example, a brand, product, company name or logo, this enables consumers to identify, purchase and enjoy products, etc. So similar thing will happen. You're working for a company, they have a name but nothing else. So if you're working for such a company, you can say we can have a logo, we can register our company so that whenever you are marketing that, at least that logo will be there, people will be able to identify that. You as management students, it's your job for tomorrow. If you go work for a company, these are the things that will require. Identification is very important for consumers. If you're going for a job, if people are not able to identify your product, then you're gone. As simple as that. Yes. So, types of trademark, words, letters or numerals. For example, Apple, I told you that they have a specific mark, Coco, Chanel, etc. Device mark is Amazon, eBay, etc. The way in which they are written. Figurative marks is McDonald's, for example, that red in everything. So it can be color, it can be word, it can be logo, it can be anything. Yes, further. Unconventional trademarks, etc. That is all. Sound marks, even sound marks are registered. For example, that sir was telling that a particular logo or a musical connotation in which a person is singing a jingle, let's suppose. You can have a trademark over it. That this jingle is specifically for us. Or the Airtel tune, for example. That is also a sound mark, a trademark. Now, what you can do is, if I tell you in brief, what you have a IPR, for example, and you want to register it. So there are different registration offices. You can simply approach them, have the registration from them, do the registration, etc. Now there are two options available to you. Suppose you're working for a company, let's Reebok, and you found out that some other company in Maharashtra is making Reebok. Some name they have changed and that's it, they are making shoes over it. So what can you do in that regard? First, you can go to the police station, write a particular complaint, the police will raid that facility and stop it. Number two is you can simply file a case in the court and get damages and compensation in that regard. So these are the two methods, two actions which you can take in case of infringement. Further. Yeah. Then comes patent. We have already discussed what a patent is. It has to have a scientific invention, etc., etc. Or software, something like that you've created. For example, Google, you've created Gmail, you've created something that you can use. But a question can come that, for example, are these IPR rights which are given to you, they are applicable internationally? The answer is no. You can use it only in the territory. You can have it enforced only in India. For example, if somebody in US is breaching your rights, IPR rights, then you cannot file a case against them, as simple as that. It's only for India. Although there is a treaty which has come into picture, which is called PCT, in which you can file an international patent if you've got patent rights. For example, if you created a product, you can simply go and get patent rights over there. So these are the different kinds of IPR rights available to you and how you can protect them. As simple as that. If you've not protected them, then it's a gone case. Yes. Further. No more. This is the patent that how will you file a patent application? Required documents are required, publications, etc. Filing a request for examination, filing pre-grant opposition. For example, you can go for a patent, then the opposite party, if somebody has a dispute with it, they can file for objections, etc. This is all very legal. Yes, further. Further. So there is patent office in Delhi. If you're working in Delhi, let's suppose, you should be knowing this. If you're working in Delhi in a company and if you want to file for patent, then Jammu, Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, etc. all these things are there. Now why these rights are important? These days what the government has done, they have come up with a policy where if you have a patent application, you have created some software, what happens is the government takes a lot of fees for filing patents. There's a lot of money which is required. So the government has done that if you have created something as entrepreneurs, etc., you can just come to us, file an application, we'll fund the entire application, we'll give you everything. Half of the cost the government will bear. So that is very important for you to know. Yes. That PCT as we have already discussed. Yes. Yes. So what is not patentable? For example, invention which is contrary to the well-established natural laws, that is perpetual motion, gravitation. If somebody comes and says that I have created a device which is against the law of the nature, then it will not be patentable. Further. More. Further. So this is what we discussed, copyright. If you created a music, a movie, dramatical, artistic works, etc. I think there's a recent case also in which there's a famous movie which was being made and some script writer came and he said this is my movie. So he filed the case in the Bombay High Court and the High Court listened to it. Then certainly High Court then said no, we have read your script, this movie is entirely different. So that was a copyright infringement case. So whenever something happens, if you have got an IPR right over something, let's suppose you have sung a song on YouTube and you have a copyright over it. Let's suppose you've done a copyright registration. Then if somebody uses that song, etc., then they won't be able to use it. What people do, this music directors, all this T-series, etc., you must have heard. Now that has also become a big issue. What happens is that somebody else has written a song. What these music companies says and done is that you give me that particular song, you enter into a contract with me, you hand over your copyright IPR rights to me. So the company has got the IPR rights. Now whenever that song is played, whether in Spotify, whether on some other app, whether on YouTube, whether on DJs, whether on this live telecast, etc., I'll get royalty points on that. So I'll be earning money. So it's like a continuous stream of money that you get just because of IPR rights. Nothing else that company has done. The creator is somebody else has written the song, but I am the one who's enjoying the benefits of that. Then sound recordings, etc., the same thing. Yes. So who has the ownership right? Also, for this thing, that's a very important aspect, registration, non-registration of IPR. If you have created something, please register it. That's the first requirement. Have the registration done with you. If your product is not registered, if you don't have an IPR which is registered, you won't be able to stand in court. So that is also important thing. Yes, further. That's all. Yes, one more thing. For example, you're working in a company and there are certain employees, several employees under you. Now there's a trade secret associated with it. For example, the person knows exactly how the company runs, what are the processes. Let's suppose you've created a product. Now each and every employee has got that right. They know exactly how the product is made. So they'll sell it to somebody else. So in that particular case, we've got a law which is called breach of trust. It is a criminal act under IPC. You can go and register a complaint against them if somebody has done that in your company. Yes, sir. Also, all these IPR rights, they are not for indefinite period. You will get it for like 20 years, in some case 10 years, for some case 60 years, etc. It's not like you've got an indivisible right for like hundreds of years. Yes. Further. Further. These are all durations. This is further. Industrial design, we have already seen a bottle, a shoe. Tomorrow you'll be working for a shoe company and your rival, let's suppose. Why this information is important? Half of the time you do not even know which laws are applicable. So what happens is your company has created a great design of shoes, a new design, let's suppose. You have no IPR over it, they go to the market, the other person will copy it and start selling it. You as managers will be thinking, why our product flopped? Half of the time the product is flopped or the company is in losses and you lose your job because you don't know the law. How to protect yourself. All these things are important. When you go for management position, this is not law related thing. When you go for, your company has created something, some shoe, bottle design, etc. You've sent it to the market. You're saying, oh God, I've created some Tetra packs, for example, and I've sent it to the market. Your competitor will simply copy it and start selling it. And that's how you need to protect yourself. Your interest, your company's interest, that's very relevant for you. And even in job interviews these days, the people are asking, because there are a lot of IPR thefts in China, from US happening in India these days. These SMEs, all these small scale industries, etc. What they are facing is direct attacks. Somebody is infringing their processes or their products, etc. and start selling it. China is number one in that. For example, I'll give you a very small example. You have created, let's suppose if Diwali time has come, you're working for a company here in Noida. What they do is they make this small Ganeshas and all these things for Diwali. They have manufactured like 10,000 items. Now what China will do, if you start selling them without having any IPR rights, what China will do is simply get that product, take a picture of that, start making it, manufacturing in China. The value is 10 times later there because the labor is cheap, etc., etc. It's basically a dictatorship. So the price is less. They will throw that product here. So you're selling a product in rupees 40, let's suppose China is sending it here in 20. So the consumers will naturally go for 20. The same thing would not have happened if you had an IPR right associated with your particular product. So then you can challenge it or go to the police or file a case against them. Yes, sir. So these are consumer product designs, etc. Different designs for this. Yes, further. Pharmaceutical industries also, this is IPR rights battle in pharmaceutical industries. If tomorrow one of you will be working there, especially higher positions or lower positions, half of your time you will be going for this, how to protect your IPR rights. Because it's not an easy thing to create a vaccine and just go to the market or the patent office and say that we have created a vaccine of some sort. No. There are a lot of challenges. Your competitors will always want you to go down. Because your gain is somebody else's loss. Your loss is somebody else's gain. That's as simple as that. If you're dealing with a product or a service, then, for example, this Swiggy, Zomato, all these things, there's a continuous battle between them. How to have monopoly rights, and that becomes a problem, yes. Textile, every sphere, textile and jewelry, it's there. For every product and services, there are IPR associated with it. If you're not protecting it, then your business will go down for 100%. Because the times that have come now, copying, etc. has become much easier. And tracking is also easier. So that's why it's important for you to understand what exactly, not in a broad, but in a broader sense, you must have some understanding what is an IPR. Yes. Yes, you're working in a big jewelry shop, let's suppose. So again, the IPR rights would come into picture. Yes. Yes. So if you have a design which is not new or original, then you will not get registration over it. If your design is disclosed to the public anywhere before filing, for example, you have created a shoe. Now what happens is that you are, let's suppose, working in a management position, your company owner will come and say, hey, we have created this product. And you say, sir, this is a fantastic product, we should market it and advertise it. You start sending pictures to different things, you start advertising it. Then you won't be able to, because it's already come into the world before you have disclosed it to somebody else. So you should not disclose it before you get registration. Yes. Religious symbols you would not be able to register. All these things are very basic. So the basic thing you need to do is, tomorrow if you go for working in management positions or in a company interview or something like that, if the question comes that what is IPR, etc., you must have some basic idea with respect to it. And how to protect your IPRs, that is also very important for you. Geographical indications we have already discussed. This basmati, etc., all these is geographical indication. Registration is the same. So what we have discussed in this lecture is, first of all, IPR rights are very valuable to you. They are very important for you. You need to protect it at all costs. Otherwise, your company will go down in no time. Number two is that it will be important for you to register the same. If you have recognized your IPR rights, please go and register the same. That is very important for a company. And number three, in case if you get the knowledge, please file a case against them or go to the police in that particular instance. So if you have any questions now, you can take the questions. With respect to IPR or anything.
Sir, I would like to ask
Yeah.
a question. So as we currently came to know that Starbucks has a copy of Sardar Books in Pakistan. One restaurant,
Yes.
owner has started. So what can be the case?
The problem is that Starbucks would not be able to file a case in Pakistan unless you've got a presence over there. Because international enforceability is not there. Unless Starbucks goes to Pakistan or they say that this is our product, we are taking registration. What happens is you need to take registration in each individual country as of now. So if I have Starbucks, I took my trademark, let's suppose the Starbucks trademark, I took it in US, let's suppose. Now if I am opening a store in Germany, I need to take that in Germany as well, file an application in Germany as well. If I am going to India, I have to file an application there as well. So all these things individual you need to do, and only then you will be able to file a particular case.
That means every country or each country has their own.
Yes, has their own laws. And what happens in patents, actually, there is a treaty which has come into picture. That is called Patent Cooperation Treaty, in which what happens is 16 countries have come together. Now they are saying that you don't need to do anything. We have decided amongst ourselves that any one person from any of these countries can file a patent application in the international patent system, and it will get automatic registration in all 16. So I have to file one international patent application, but you have to be a part of that treaty. So that is the only requirement. That country specific has to, Pakistan is not a part of that treaty. So if Pakistan, for example, if there is no Reebok, but the problem is that there has to be a Starbucks in Pakistan. So what they will do, they will file a case against it.
So Pakistan is going to file the case, or the Starbucks can file?
Starbucks will file a case in Pakistan.
But when the Starbucks is coming to the Pakistan, already the Sardar Books is established.
No, they will file. No, because what happens is let's suppose Sardar Books is already carrying out business there. One possibility. And Starbucks comes and opens a store, outlet in Pakistan. Whenever they will open an outlet in Pakistan, what happens is, I am a Pakistani owner. I want to open Starbucks. That's how it happens. I will approach Starbucks. I'll say, I will open one store. Please give me your rights. So they will all give this IPR rights is what we give, acquisition, that you can use the Starbucks logo, you can have the coffee inside, you can sell it. I have the IPR rights with me. So I will first go and apply for IPR rights in Pakistan. If Sardar Books comes and challenges it, I will say, no, I've been operating since in US, etc. So I've got much better evidence. Then I can attack this Starbucks copy. Yeah, that's the procedure. But unless somebody's, for example, what happens is there are new companies which have come into picture. They are called brand protectors. What they do is, big companies like Reebok, their cheap copies are available in millions. Some manufactured in Meerut, somebody is manufacturing in Nai Sadak, etc. So what happens is they hire these companies. So these companies, what they say, I will enter into a contract with big company. I will say you will not be able to identify these people and take action against them. I will do it on your behalf. Just give me some money. So I am going to different markets. I am assisting the police in raiding them. I am filing the complaints. I am filing cases against them. I am protecting their IP. So that's how it is. Brand protection is called. It has become an industry into itself. All this battle that you see, there's not a product specific anymore. Not very many people can identify the difference between Pepsi and Coke.
Basically, strictly a brand.
It's a brand value. Otherwise, if I'll give Coke and Pepsi to this gentleman here, he would not be able to identify the difference between them unless he's very, good with it. What he's drinking, whether it's Pepsi, Coke, he would not be able to identify. So what he's identifying, the brand. I have the same product. I can make the same product, Coca-Cola, exactly the same, which tastes the same, which feels the same. But my product, nobody will buy. Because in today's time, branding is the main thing. If you don't have branding and marketing, your product will not, no matter what kind of product you have, unless you are selling cocaine. That's a different issue. Otherwise, it's like this only. So you need to have all these companies, they are spending in cricket stadiums, etc. Matches happens, all these advertisers, organizers, who are they? They're all companies. They have this logo, you identify with Sachin. When Sachin used to play, he used to have this logo, MRF logo, because MRF has brand ambassadors. Why do they do? Because people identify with MRF. If you have heard the name, that means your product is selling. If nobody has heard of it, then your product is low. So what these companies are doing these days, for example, there's a strategy which one of our clients also used. They have launched a product. So they'll go to the shop owners and they will say that they will hire some people and they will say marketing agencies and advertising agencies. What they do, they hire 5,000 people or 2,000 people in Delhi NCR region. They'll say go to the shop owners and just ask them if you have this product. So the shop owner will think, okay, this product has some demand. So next time they'll try to keep storage of that product. Yes. Or you will start selling your own product. And then it starts selling and people will say, okay, this product is selling. That's how that. Otherwise, no store owner, this grocery shop owner, they will not keep your product. It's a challenge just to get inside those people. If you've created a product, let's suppose this gentleman here, he manufactures some potato chips. He goes to a grocery store owner, he said, take 100 of my chips, he would not even see his face. Because he will not be able to sell it. That's the problem. So branding is very important. So all these days, lots of branding is to be done. Branding and marketing in today's digital markets and all these things. They don't even have offices these days. Zomato, Swiggy, they don't have offices in each and everything is online these days. So they are doing like that. Any other question?
Anyone has any question?
So, if you don't have any questions, I would like to end the session. Okay. And I hope that although I touched only the basics of what IPR rights etc. are, how do you protect them, what can you do in case if it gets infringed, that's all I told you. So I hope it was clear. I did not deal in very detail what exactly happens in patent act etc. So, but I'm really grateful for this university for providing me this opportunity to address you all. Thank you very much.
On the behalf of IIMT College of Management, I would like to take this moment to extend my heartfelt thanks to respected Vipul Dutt sir. Sir, at the end you said it was not, that in detail, but sir, for us it was indeed an eye-opener. You laid emphasis on IPR, you threw light on various aspects of IPR, patents, how to file them, and what you need to do if some infringement is there. So your thoughts, your experience, your insights have really been eye-opener today. For students, it was really helpful. They will use these thoughts in their lives, and I was really amazed. Not only IPR, you threw light on branding and marketing as well. And then at the end, when you said that how branding is important, and nowadays, companies are hiring people just to, to go to the store owners and ask them, do you have this product? This thing really amazed me. That is this really happening nowadays? And this is a very good, strategy to make awareness of your product in the market. So at the end, I extend again my heartfelt thanks to you, sir, and let's